Let me ask you something. Has a dealership ever shown you how to make your car last 20 years? Of course not. They make money when you come back, not when your car keeps running. Here's the truth. Most cars are built to outlive their warranty, but not without the right habits. And almost nobody teaches you those. Today, you'll learn 12 simple rules that can take your car past 200,000, even 300,000 miles without a massive repair bill. And don't skip the last one. It takes 30 seconds and could save your engine from a $4,000 failure. Let's get into it. Rule 1. The 5,000-mile oil reality. Here's the first lie they sold you at the dealership. You're good for 10,000 miles between oil changes. That advice didn't come from an engineer. It came from a marketing team. And the difference is enormous. Yes, modern full synthetic oil is incredible. Far better than what existed 20 years ago. But incredible doesn't mean invincible. Here's what actually happens inside your engine between oil changes. The oil picks up combustion byproducts, microscopic metal particles, and moisture. Over time, it oxidizes. It thickens. It stops lubricating the way it should. And the places it fails to reach first, the places that are hardest and most expensive to replace. Turbo bearings, variable valve timing actuators, cylinder walls. The sweet spot for full synthetic oil? 3,000 to 5,000 miles. Especially if you drive in stop-and-go traffic, take short trips under 10 miles, or live somewhere with temperature extremes, which is most of us. The oil change that costs $30 today is protecting an engine worth $3,000 to $5,000 to replace. Do the math. Change it early. Change it often. Rule 2. The transmission lifetime lie. This one makes me genuinely angry. At some point, automakers started calling transmission fluid lifetime fluid. And technically, they're right. It will last the lifetime of your transmission. It's just that your transmission's lifetime will be cut in half. No fluid is truly lifetime. Transmission fluid breaks down. It gets contaminated. It loses its viscosity. And when it fails, it doesn't fail gently. You'll be looking at a transmission replacement that starts at $2,000 and goes up fast. Here's the fix. Partial fluid changes every 40,000 miles. Not a complete flush, a partial drain and refill. Here's why this matters. If your transmission fluid has already been neglected, if you're over 80,000 miles and have never touched it, do not get a full power flush. A full flush on a high mileage, dirty transmission can dislodge deposits that were actually sealing small leaks and keeping things together. The flush cleans it out, and suddenly those leaks aren't plugged anymore. Partial change. Every 40,000 miles. Fresh fluid in, old fluid out, slowly over time. Your transmission will outlive the rest of the car. Rule 3. The timing belt death sentence. This is the one that ends cars. If your vehicle has a timing belt, not a chain, a belt, this is the most important piece of rubber in your entire vehicle. It synchronizes your engine's camshaft and crankshaft. Everything rotates in perfect coordination because of this one belt. When it snaps, the engine doesn't slow down and stop politely. The valves and pistons collide at high speed. The engine is destroyed. Not damaged, destroyed. You're looking at a full engine replacement, or the car goes to the junkyard. The manufacturer says replace it at 100,000 miles. That's the liability answer, not the smart answer. Inspect it at 40,000 miles. Replace it by 60,000, or at 7 years, whichever comes first. Rubber degrades with heat and time, not just mileage. And while you're in there, replace the water pump. The water pump is driven by the timing belt. The labor to replace it is essentially free at this point because everything is already apart. A water pump costs $60 to $100. If you skip it and it fails 6 months later, you're paying full labor costs again. Replace both. One visit. Done. Rule 4. Spark plugs and the turbo tax. Spark plugs used to be simple. You change them every 30,000 miles. Everyone was happy. Then direct injection engines arrived. Then turbos became standard. And now your spark plugs are working harder than they ever did before. Turbocharged and direct injection engines run hotter combustion cycles. They put more stress on the plug's electrode with every single ignition event. Plugs that would have lasted 60,000 miles in an older engine are worn out at 40,000 in a turbo. Why does this matter beyond performance? Because a misfiring spark plug doesn't just waste fuel. It sends unburned fuel into your exhaust system. And that unburned fuel reaches your catalytic converter, which is not designed to handle it. The converter overheats. It fails. A catalytic converter replacement on a modern vehicle? $1,500 to $3,000. sometimes more. Replace your spark plugs every 40,000 to 60,000 miles if you drive a turbocharged or direct injection engine. That's a $100 job that protects a $2,000 component. Rule 5. The invisible fuel filter. Here's a part most people have never thought about in their lives, and it's silently destroying fuel pumps every single day. The fuel filter sits between your gas tank and your engine. Its job is to catch debris, rust particles, and contaminants before they reach the fuel injectors. It does this job quietly, invisibly for years, and then it gets clogged. When the filter is clogged, the fuel pump has to work harder to push fuel through it. Every mile you drive with a restricted filter is wearing out your fuel pump prematurely. Fuel pumps aren't cheap. Labor to access them isn't cheap either. On most vehicles, they're inside the fuel tank. The filter itself? $15 to $40. Change it every 30,000 miles. It's one of the highest return on investment maintenance items on this entire list. A cheap part protecting an expensive one. That's the whole game. Rule 6. The MAF sensor hack. This one is almost embarrassing how simple it is. Your mass airflow sensor, the MAF, measures the volume of air entering your engine. Your car's computer uses this data to calculate the perfect fuel-to-air ratio for every single combustion event. When that sensor gets dirty, and it will get dirty because it sits right in the intake airstream, it starts sending inaccurate readings. The computer thinks less air is coming in than actually is. It adjusts the fuel mixture wrong. Your engine runs rich or lean. The result? Reduced fuel economy, sluggish acceleration, rough idle, sometimes a check engine light. And if it gets bad enough, the computer starts making compensation adjustments that stress other components. The fix costs $10 and takes 5 minutes. Buy a can of MAF sensor cleaner. Not carburetor cleaner, not brake cleaner, MAF sensor cleaner specifically. Remove the sensor, spray it, let it dry, reinstall. Do this every 15,000 miles. Your fuel economy comes back. Your engine runs cleaner. $10. 5 minutes. Rule 7. The fluid audit. Most people check their oil. Some people check their coolant. Almost nobody checks their brake fluid. And that's a problem. Here's a word you need to know. Hygroscopic. It means a substance absorbs moisture from the air. And brake fluid is highly hygroscopic. Over time, your brake fluid absorbs water. Water in your brake lines lowers the boiling point of the fluid dramatically. Under hard braking, an emergency stop, a long downhill grade, that fluid can boil. Boiled brake fluid creates vapor pockets in your lines. Vapor doesn't compress the way fluid does. Your pedal goes soft. In the worst case, it goes to the floor. Change your brake fluid every 2 years. It doesn't matter how many miles you have. Coolant is a different issue. Fresh coolant contains additives that protect your aluminum engine components and prevent corrosion. Over time, those additives deplete. The coolant turns acidic. Acidic coolant eats away at your radiator, your water pump, your heater core. Change your coolant every 3 years. The cost is minimal. The protection is enormous. 2 fluids, 2 simple schedules. A huge amount of protection. Rule 8. Hoses and rubber, the 5-year rule. I want you to think about rubber bands that have been sitting in a drawer for 10 years. What happens when you try to stretch one? It snaps. Every time. The rubber hoses in your engine bay age the same way. Heat cycles, ozone exposure, and time make them brittle, hard, and prone to cracking. A coolant hose that feels firm when you squeeze it isn't healthy. It's dying. Here's the thing about rubber hoses. They don't usually give you a warning. They don't squeal. They don't vibrate. They just fail. On the highway, at operating temperature, when your engine is running full pressure through them. A coolant hose failure at highway speed means your coolant dumps onto the road in seconds. Your temperature gauge climbs. If you don't catch it immediately, you've overheated the engine. Warped head gasket, cracked cylinder head. A repair that starts at $1,500 and can reach $4,000. The hose that failed, $20. Inspect all rubber hoses at 5 years. Replace anything that feels hard, shows surface cracking, or feels soft and spongy. While you're at it, check the rubber boots on your CV axles and inspect your belts. 5 years. Squeeze the hoses. Replace what you find. Rule 9. The no cheap parts policy. I understand the temptation. You search for a part online and there's an OEM option for $80 and a compatible option for $14.99 with 600 reviews and 3 stars. Here's the thing about cheap sensors and components. They don't just fail. They fail in ways that confuse your diagnostic system. They send incorrect signals. They cause your car's computer to misdiagnose other systems. You chase a bad oxygen sensor for 3 months before realizing the cheap replacement sensor you installed was the problem all along. Cheap parts fail twice. Once when they fail, and once when you pay to have the original problem properly fixed anyway. OEM means original equipment manufacturer. It means the same specification, the same tolerances, the same materials as what the factory installed. Yes, it costs more, but it works correctly, it lasts, and it doesn't create secondary problems. For critical components, oxygen sensors, MAF sensors, wheel speed sensors, fuel injectors by OEM or a trusted brand with a lifetime warranty. The premium you pay up front is almost always less than the diagnostic labor you'll pay when a cheap part causes confusion down the line. Rule 10. Listen to the warnings. I've talked to mechanics who've been doing this for 30 years. Every single one of them has said the same thing. The car always told them. They just didn't want to hear it. A new noise in a car is never nothing. It is always something. The only question is whether you address it at the early stage, which is usually inexpensive, or the late stage, which is usually catastrophic. A faint clicking from the top of the engine at startup? That's often low oil pressure or a worn timing chain guide. 20-minute fix if you catch it early. New engine if you don't. A slight grinding when you brake? That's a worn brake pad touching the rotor. Pad replacement if you catch it. Rotor replacement, 4 times the cost if you wait. A subtle vibration at highway speed? Could be a wheel balance. Could be a CV joint starting to fail. A $20 balance job now, or a CV axle replacement later. When you hear something new, do this. Record it on your phone. Drive to a quiet road and get a clean recording. Take it to your mechanic and play it for them. A 10-second audio clip is worth more than any description you could give. Turn the radio down. Your car is communicating. Learn to listen. Rule 11. The mechanical marriage. This is a mindset shift, and it's one of the most valuable things on this list. Stop chasing the cheapest oil change. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but the real cost of shop hopping isn't what you pay per visit. It's what you lose in continuity. A mechanic who has seen your car 10 times knows things. They know that your car tends to burn a quart of oil between changes. They know they noticed some seepage around the valve cover gasket 8 months ago, and they've been watching it. They know your driving patterns, your history, and they can see trends that no first-time technician ever could. That knowledge is worth more than the $12 you saved at the discount shop. Find one independent mechanic, not a chain, an independent, who works on your make of vehicle regularly. Build a relationship. Be a loyal customer. Bring them coffee. Learn their name. They will go to bat for you. They will call you before doing work. They will tell you what actually needs fixing and what can wait. That relationship is one of the most valuable assets you can have as a car owner. One shop, one technician, for the life of the car. Rule 12, the 30-second for $1,000 habit. I promised you this at the beginning. Here it is. Wash underneath your car. It sounds too simple, but this is one of the biggest reasons perfectly good cars die early: rust and corrosion. If you drive in winter on salted roads or even through mud and rain regularly, that buildup sticks to the underside of your car, your brake lines, fuel lines, frame, and wiring. Over time, it slowly eats away at everything. A corroded brake line can cost over $1,000 to fix. Damaged wiring can run into the thousands. If rust reaches the frame, the car can be beyond repair. The fix? Just 30 seconds. After driving on salted or dirty roads, quickly rinse the underside of your car, especially the wheel wells and frame. That small habit can add years to your car's life and save you from a massive repair bill later. Here's the truth no dealership will tell you. Cars don't die early, owners just stop taking care of them. At 150,000 miles, your car isn't old, it's just getting started. The people hitting 300,000 miles? They're not lucky, they're consistent. Treat your car like an investment, and it'll pay you back for years. Now, I want to hear from you. How many miles are on your car right now? Drop it in the comments. And if this helped, share it with someone who just hit 100K. It might save them thousands. I'll see you in the next one.